Hey, welcome to this masterclass about the 3 simple shifts to becoming a great dad without losing yourself. Listen, we're gonna be together for like about 25, 30 minutes, something like that. So get something to write with, sit down, get your favorite beverage, water, or something else, and we'll get started. Look, this is my promise, right? What if being a great dad wasn't about doing more, but about shifting how you show up? Shifting how you show up. Look, slide. Who is this for? Before I even start with this, who is this for? This is for dads that want to be great dads. Not dads that are like, you know what? I'm going to delegate raising my kids to my wife. I'm going to delegate raising my kids to the coach. I'm going to delegate being present in my kids' life, delegate that to their friends, right? If that's you as a dad, this is not for you. If you're the dad that wants to be present and you feel like there's just something that's missing, right? Because you want to be the dad that's actually raising his kid, you want to be the dad that's actually present for them, but you also want to be the dad that's actually providing, right? And protecting. This is for you, okay? Just wanted to be clear so that you know if you're in the right room, because the last thing I want is to waste your time, right? Because I'm going to be here anyway. But time is valuable, and we know that as fathers, right? I have 6 kids. I understand how precious time is, right? And so I want to make sure that I don't waste your time, okay? So if you're still watching me, I'm thinking you that dad, the one that wants to raise his kid, wants to be present, wants to provide, wants to protect, wants to have it all. Okay? Let's go. The pit. This is the bottom. This is where you might be feeling right now, right? Your body is broken down. You've sacrificed your body, your health, to provide for your family, right? You're not eating healthy anymore. You don't have the vibrancy that you used to have. You disconnected with your kids. You're disconnected with your wife. You wish you could be home, but you feel like you have to be at work so that you can give them more. But is that really it? Or is that just an excuse? Something to distract yourself from, then deny that you're distracting yourself, and then understanding that you're destroying your family. But also that place where you are working, but feeling no calling, no purpose. It's just a job that's paying the bills, that allows you to be present for your, be present, to support your family, to pay the bills. And you've gone from this job to the next job to the next job, just drifting, never feeling like this is really what you feel you're called to do. And then money, money. That's why we're doing it, right? We're doing it to make more money, to provide for our family, but then are never present. We're sacrificing ourselves, right? And so you're at this place where it just sucks, right? And you feel like a wallet. Like there seems to be never enough money in the budget to do all of it. Never. And so maybe you're tapping in and your wife is tapping into credit cards and the debt is increasing and you're just confused and like, how do I do it all? How can I be present for my kids and my family while at the same time not lose myself? The peak. What if I told you that actually there's a place where your body can be healed, no more pain, no more neck pain, no more back pain, no more knee pain. That you can actually have vibrancy, right? Tonality of your skin. You know, when you can see somebody, you can tell right away, ooh, something is off, right? Because the tonality of their skin just doesn't look healthy. Because they're always under work light. They never have time to go outside, never have time to go in nature, never have time to get out of the building, right? They go from one building to a little car to another building, just keep on cycling the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, right? And like Albert Einstein said, this is insanity, right? We're repeating the same thing and expecting a different result. So what if there was a place where you actually are healthy, physically, mentally? What if there was a place where you actually connected to your wife? You don't live in this sexless marriage, or this place where she is just tired of fighting you every single day, that she's just laying there, right? Just laying there for you to just finish your business. What if there's this place where you actually are connected to her? You have clear intimacy. You feel like your souls are connecting. What if there's a place where your kids actually want you as their role model? Not the YouTuber that they're watching that is like, overly expressive, right? What if it was you? You are the role model, not this YouTuber guy that's just like doing a bunch of random stuff on there, right? What if you're actually in a job, working and doing something that you feel called to do? I know you're probably like, whoa, man, that's a lot of, that looks like heaven. Well, it's not impossible. Others have done it, right? What if it was that place where you're actually working at a place where you feel called to work and you can also provide for your family? Not just provide a little bit, provide with abundance, so much so that you can actually give to others. Give to others out of overflow, not out of manufactured energy, manufactured money, or credit card money, right? Where the reality is like you have a gap in your budget, but you just don't want to look at it. And your wife doesn't want to look at it, so you're just ignoring it. What if that place existed? We're going to call this the peak. Now, inside of the pit, right? The bottom. There's a couple of problems we have. Problem number one, inside of your body, you are literally using your body as the sacrificial lamb. I'm going to sacrifice my body for my family. I'm going to sacrifice my body for money. I'm going to sacrifice my body for work. But guess what happened? At some point, your body says, I'm done. And guess what happened? No amount of money can fix that. None. Zero. Nada. In French, rien. Nothing. There's nothing that can fix it. Once you've crossed that line, after you've abused and sacrificed your body again and again and again and again, there's nothing left. There's nothing more. Right? Problem number two. Inside of your relationship with your spouse and your kids, you just don't know how to communicate with her. You don't. You're just trying to keep on having this conversation versus actually understanding how to hold space for her, how to be a mirror for her, how to validate her, how to empathize with her, how to do it in such a way that she actually is feeling seen, honored, loved, deeply, not as an adversary, consistently having to fight each other with your energies. But you're actually somebody that she is seeing as my partner, somebody that I love, somebody that I want to give everything to. And your kids, they see you as their father, as their role model, as the person that they want to actually be around and hold and kiss and hug and share their stuff that they're doing, right? I mean, with my 6 kids, it's like everyone has something different, right? My oldest is 14, my youngest is 2. So I have a 14 at this time of this recording, a 14, a 12, a 10, a 8, a 6, and a 2. And so everybody has something different. Someone's like, hey, can I show you this Roblox stuff? Someone's like, hey, can I show you this Fortnite stuff? Other one is like, hey, how do I make money with the Shopify store? Right? Oh, and the other one's like, hey, can I tell you about my friend? Can I go to this sleepover and this is why I want to go to it? Right? But the problem, like, you don't know any of that because you're still stuck in this place of just never being present because you've delegated that to your wife or to the coach or to the friends. So the other problem is that you're doing what you're not called to do. And you're so afraid to admit it. You're afraid to admit that this ain't it. You're afraid to go and seek something different. Because deep inside, this is what you're feeling. Man, I should be grateful. I should be grateful to have a job. Right? Man, people are losing their job left and right. I should be grateful. I should just be grateful. But you're not truly grateful, right? You're just fearful. And you are denying that you're actually fearful and trying to change it to, I'm grateful. The other problem is that you're not willing to have some of the tough conversation with love about money. Where are we at with our money? What does the budget look like? And being able to admit that in this season, we can't do all those activities. In this season, maybe we can't go on vacation. Right? Because that would make you, if you admit that would make you feel inferior. That would make you feel less than. And so you continue to lie about, just adding more on your credit card, adding more on your credit card, adding more on your credit card, or just colliding with your spouse and out of anger because you feel like you're failing them, but not telling them that you feel like you're failing them, just make them feel like they are the problem, when deep inside you know that you are the problem. But you don't want to admit. You don't want to admit that. But look, it doesn't have to be that way. Because there's this place where there's this possibility, right? There's this possibility where your body is your weapon. It's a weaponized body that allows you to be with your family, to play with your kids, to do the dishes, to clean the house, to do stuff for your wife and not come home and be tired and lay on the couch because your body is exhausted. No. This possibility is there of this strong body, this weaponized body. There is this possibility of just this intimate connection, this soul level connection with your spouse, soul level, when you feel like, wow, this is the one, and not like, wow, is this the one? Where your kids truly see you as the role model. Right? It's there. It exists. And also this place where your work is fulfilling because you know this is a calling, it's not just a work. That you actually picked it, aligned with your passion and your skills, and not just something that just fell on your lap. Right? And these possibilities where like money is in abundance. Right? Where there's more than enough, where we can hold the line out of love because of the goals that we have and not out of fear that, oh man, it's going to be a tough conversation, so I'd rather just be distracted and pick something else. Now, inside of this pit and this problem, there's a pain that we experience, right? There's a pain that we experience of hurt, of shame, of guilt, of not belonging, right? Because we've decided to separate ourselves from others because we just don't feel like we deserve the love. Because sometimes as men, this is what we do, right? We are valued when we provide, when we give something. If we give nothing, then we don't deserve the love. We don't deserve the attention. We don't deserve the recognition. We don't deserve all that stuff. And the challenge becomes whenever we give so much and we feel like we should and we're not getting it, there's this dissonance in our head, like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I'm doing all these things and I'm not getting any of the positive stuff. As a matter of fact, it feels like it's just never enough. Have you ever had that? When it just feels like it's just never enough. Never enough. I keep giving, and it's never enough. Right? That pain keeps on building up to a moment where you said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. And this is when men go and cheat. And this is when men go and sedate out of pain. This is when men go and rage out, because rage is unprocessed grief, or grief with nowhere to go. And so it develops into rage. Break things, kick things, yell, anger. But all it is just hurt, because hurt people, heal people. And so, when we're looking at this peak and this possibility, there's also this place where there's this pleasure that exists. Right? The pleasure of peace, fulfillment, joy, happiness. Like all those emotions, those feelings that exist, but maybe we've pushed them down. We've not experienced them long enough that we actually know them. Like we know our kid's name, our wife's name, where we live, the car that we drive, the shoes that we wear, right? Because we haven't experienced that in a very long time that we forgot that, man, there's such thing as peace. There's such thing as joy. There's such thing as love. There's such thing as unconditional love. That pleasure. Can you feel that? Do you remember the moment where you had felt unconditional love? Where you didn't have to prove anything to be loved? You didn't have to perform again and again and again and again to actually get a hug? You didn't have to please the coach to be told, man, great job. You didn't have to do something for your wife for her to come to you and actually give you intimacy and have sex with your wife. You didn't have to do anything. She just did it because she loves you, right? If you have kids, like remember this moment, right? When your kid is little and they just want to come to you with open hands, like how it felt, right? Or if you have a dog, you know, the dog's like, the only thing they do is just like give you love. They don't expect anything. It's unconditional. Like that. Now, how do we go from those two worlds? From the pit to this peak, from those problems to those possibilities, from those pains to that pleasure, right? Because whenever we look at it, we can see that there's a gap. And this gap, man, depending on where you are in life, this gap feels huge. This gap feels like it is impossible to traverse. Impossible. What if I told you it's not? What if I tell you there's actually a way for you to go from this pit to this peak, from this problem to this possibilities, from this pain to this pleasure? What if there's a way to do it? Like I gave you the promise earlier, there's 3 shifts that you have to make. You ready? Shift number 1. That's what I like to call gentle rage. Is a fire that forges, not burns. Is this way of being able to navigate while staying with integrity and authenticity of who you are as a man. That you are both the warrior, both the king, both the lover, and as well as the magician. All of those That you can be fully you and not this toxic masculinity. But you are the full you instead of this healed version of you, instead of all those archetypes. Then, brotherhood. Brotherhood, community. Look, we got deconditioned as men during the industrial age to just no longer be in community. Right? Because now we put each other against each other. It's like, yo, he's your competition. You all want to be a supervisor at some point, and a manager, and a director, and an executive. So it's you versus him. And so we always saw each other as like you versus me all the time. Right? And so I can't really care about you too much because I got to take care of my family. So I can't really come too close to you. We got deconditioned to be together, to share, to get relief from another man. Not for women. Women, they understood this power. That's why women can be in community. Even if they don't like each other, they're going to be in community because they understand the power of community. Right? Those are sometimes women can find somebody to pick up, to grab the kids, to take the kids here and there, will offer that to each other because they understand the power of community. Or a guy will just, like, out of ego sometimes will just feel like, man, nobody cares about my problems. Like, I just don't need to bother people with it. And so we continue this cycle of staying here instead of the pit, the problems, the pain, and repeat again and again and again and again. So the second shift is this, right? This is the first shift, gentle rage. The second shift, brotherhood. And then the final shift, the third shift is mentorship and coaching. Look, since the beginning of time, men have had mentors. But somehow, again, whenever we got deconditioned, we also got deconditioned to seek support. Women are moving faster into being mentored and coached than men are because, again, they understand the power of community. And they understand the power of being authentically themselves, full on who they are called to be, but also understand the power of having somebody else has walked that path to help them get there faster. Because for them, there's a higher purpose, right? They understand that they want to be better for themselves, but also for their family. Or for us, we just keep on sacrificing ourselves, thinking like, oh, it's so noble to sacrifice ourselves. We should be happy to sacrifice ourselves. But really, it's not done at a place of healing. It's done at a place of unhealthiness, of pain, of trauma, of wounds. So the third shift is getting a coach or mentor that has been there to be able to allow us to see our blind spot, right? Because you've heard the saying, right? You can't see the forest when you're amongst the trees. You need somebody else that can objectively see it out and tell you, hey, you're in this forest. To get out, you got to go straight, left, straight, right, straight. Oh, watch out, there's a hole there. Just jump over it. It's not that big. Keep going, and then you're out. So that you can actually get to that place. Get to that place where you are present for your family without losing yourself. Because at some point, this is what happened with men. We give so much that we eventually will just lose who we are. That's why a lot of men get in this place of like, I don't even know who I am. Because you're just continuously working. And you even forgot who you are. You forgot your dreams. You forgot your hopes. You forgot what you're here on earth to do. And even your kids, you forgot what their dreams was because you're just a robot just working. You're just a wallet just giving this money, but never actually being there. And then at some point you realize that your life just, when your kids start to leave the house and you're there alone with your wife, you realize that you don't know her anymore. You realize that you've missed your kid's life. All that because you feel it was noble to sacrifice yourself. And I just want to tell you that that's not noble, and you don't need to do it. if you're doing it, it's out of decision. You're deciding to sacrifice yourself. But it's not needed, nor is it noble. If you're ready to shift from this pit to this peak, from those problems to those possibilities, from those pains to those pleasures, you're ready to run towards it, then I want you to reach out. Let's have a conversation. Let's do what I call the war map. Let's do this for you. Let's see where you at right now and where you want to go, and how we can implement those 3 shifts in your life. It's Julien Marion signing out. So remember to release it, be seen, don't hide.